Muito
And
bom.
now, it's time for the Microsoft Encarta library that wished on a star and magically became a real
Vai
video
começar.
game. It's Virtual Hydlide with Gyre!
All right, so I am turning the Saturn on now because it does impact the RNG a little bit for the startup here. So I want to
Bem,
be
isso
not
é
letting it
Virtual
think too long about
Highlight.
what it's about to do to us here.
Gyre vai fazer onde
Man,
100%
Virtual Hydlide, this is such a
jogo do
really,
Sega
really
Saturn
fun game to run.
que eu,
I'm Gyre. Let me have the
eu
couch go
sinto,
ahead
na
and
verdade,
give
de
their
uma
introductions.
série
Mikuyama,
Poexel?
que começou
And
em
they are not prepared
computadores
for what's about to happen to
antigos,
them. Neither is anybody
mais
in the audience here
conhecidos
today.
a versão de Nintendinho,
So let me ask the
e
audience
lançada
here. Who here thinks
internacionalmente,
the 60 frames per second is too much?
que é um jogo muito ruim. Depois teve alguns jogos que saíram só no Japão, um jogo que saiu no Mega Drive, que é o Super Highlight, e esse no Saturno, que é o remake do original. Na época que estava no modo FMV. Esse jogo tem um gimmick de sempre
All right, so this
criar
is not
um
actually a
novo
password. This is a C code
mundo,
that I'm
né?
doing. And by the way, you can still start the timer whenever you want. This is
Mas
Virtual Hydlide. It doesn't care.
eles anunciam que cada jogo que você jogar é diferente, porque o mundo é gerado
All right, so
aleatoriamente.
the first thing we're going to be introduced to is our hero Jim.
Mas
It really is
basicamente
his name.
só o que
So we
muda
are not making this
é a
up. Jim the
localização
Knight
das coisas no
is our
Overworld, porque
main
os dungeons
protagonist.
continuam
He
os
is
mesmos.
a swell dude here.
Esse aí é o nosso
One thing I really love
protagonista,
about Jim
todo
is that he's got some
digitalizado,
very black
Jim the
boots,
Knight.
and that's pretty much his biggest fashion sense. This is what the sprinting is like.
E
Get used to
a
this, 'cause
primeira
this
coisa
is
que
the
dá pra
good part of the
perceber é a
game. First of all,
frame
we're gonna take
rate
a
do
teleporter
jogo.
system that's been ripped straight out of Draken.
Deve ser o que,
Which
uns
allows
10
you to do
frames
some
por
fast travel
segundo
around
no
the map.
máximo.
So that's why you put me on the couch.
And I'm going to do the first quest here, which is the fairy forest. There are 15 trees here that contain bees. One that
É,
contains
ele
fairy.
não
You don't
mostrou a
want the bees, this is
cutscene,
what
mas a
happens if
história
you
do
get the
jogo é que
bees.
o vilão Varales explode uma princesa em 3 fadas.
Jim's dead.
E a primeira fada que você tem que encontrar para restaurar ela tá nessa floresta. Só que se você usar, se você for tocar na árvore errada, do bees, as abelhas aparecem e te matam em um hit. Isso é uma coisa que também acontecia no primeiro jogo. Então o Gyre só demonstrou isso, porque ele sabe qual é a árvore correta. Ele demonstrou o Not the Bees.
In order to show you 101% of the game, which is not only going to do all the
E
quests,
tem essa
but
tela
also
de
show off
continue aí
Jim's
parecendo
best outfit
arcade.
and even do the
Apesar
minecarts,
disso
which I
não
feel
ser
the
uma versão
minecarts,
de arcade
perhaps the best
portada pro
minecarts
console.
in video game history. So that is definitely the highlight here. I'm going to finish this quest off. This is the fairy forest. That is the fairy phone. We have answered the
Basicamente,
fairy
a
phone, and
árvore
it is
correta
time
ela emite
to
um
move
som
on to our next
de
destination, which is going
que
to
dá
be the
uma dica
graveyard
de
here.
que a fada tá ali. Essa daí é a primeira fada que ele precisa para restaurar a princesa. É diferente dos jogos anteriores da série, você não ganha experiência matando inimigos. Em vez disso, você só ganha experiência completando quests. E aquela bússola ali no cantinho sempre te aponta para sua próxima quest, então não tem a menor necessidade de matar qualquer inimigo nesse jogo, os chefes, é claro. Primeira área que ele vai é esse cemitério. Ele pega um item importante para a próxima quest, que é o crucifixo. Tem também aí uma ametista, né, que é uma das 3 gemas que precisa e não precisa para terminar o jogo. Ele é alguns scrolls também. Nesse jogo você pode achar algumas armas. Só que você precisa de scrolls para revelar o que elas são. E uma coisa interessante também é que aquele score ali em cima é a pontuação, né? A pontuação dele é a moeda do jogo. É o que ele usa na loja para comprar coisas. Sendo que tudo que ele pode comprar na loja, ele também pode encontrar no Overworld. E ele pegou no cemitério a primeira armadura. A armadura de alumínio, parece. Jim agora está muito fashion.
We have $25 from Avon Chaos. Gyre, you're
Ele
directly
usou
responsible
um
for my
scroll
involvement and contributions to the speedrunning
pra
community.
revelar a armadura que
Never
ele
play this game
pegou no
again.
cemitério. Essa armadura, o jogo diz que é uma
Until next
Iron
year.
Armor, mas tem
I will
minhas
stop,
dúvidas.
Evan, if you get 330 in Final Fantasy. That is good time.
Normalmente você iria agora pra Mansão do Vampiro, né? Já que você pegou o
Actually, I won't stop. You
crucifixo,
just
né,
have to
que
do
é
that
a
anyway.
segunda quest. Mas ele vai primeiro pra Trial Dungeon, pra
Let's go
otimizar
for
o tempo
a
de
W
viagem
fest,
dele
because that is an
no
amazing
Overwatch.
way to
Tá,
play.
a dungeon tá mais
I
perto.
approve of this.
Never forget the only way to play trio.
We also have $250 from the Trash Man. He says, so when do I pick up all this garbage?
All right, so into the trial dungeon we go. Now, you're supposed to have light source, so instead we're just going to have some very, very deep blackness here. And this is going to introduce a new mechanic, which is
Nessa
map turns. So the
dungeon
game
aí,
runs
ele
so
deveria
slowly
ter uma lanterna
that
pra
it is faster
conseguir
to go into the
enxergar,
menu, turn around,
mas ele já
and then
conhece o
come back
caminho,
out than
então
it is to
tá
turn
de
in
boas.
the overworld. And you'll see me use this
E
pretty frequently
ele não tá
throughout.
maluco,
Certainly anytime
e
you get
ele não
more than
tá
like 90 degrees of
esquecendo o
turn,
caminho.
you want to be
Ele
probably
tá
in that
abrindo o
menu back
mapa
and forth.
para poder virar
It's just
em,
something where the
em
menu
outra
actually
direção
runs
que
at
ele
a pretty
precisa.
stable
O
15
que
frames per
acontece?
second,
Esse
and
jogo
the
tem
game just does it.
tank controls, né? Tipo aquele esquema de Mega Man Legends, pra quem conhece. E na frame rate desse jogo, você virar de posição é uma coisa muito lenta. Sendo que você pode virar abrindo o mapa e girando o cursor, que aí quando você sair do mapa, você tá virado para a direção que o cursor tá apontando. E como a frame rate do mapa é muito maior do que a frame rate do jogo, os runners viram de direção no mapa. Não, isso não é um glitch. Esses jogos 3D é normal que a frame rate do mapa fosse maior do que a do jogo. Veja os Zeldas de 64 que rodam a 20 FPS e no menu a 60 FPS.
A lot of Zelda-seeming influences, such as the Master Sword, which we will be seeing later, and also another sword which looks similar to the Master Sword,
aí ele
but
só
is
pegou ali nos
officially
baús
not
um
from
item
the
de
Zelda
side
universe at
quest,
all.
que é
I say officially
Spectacles
because it
of
probably
Truth,
was.
que é tipo Lens of Truth de Zelda.
All right, so I'm gonna
E
head
o outro
back
é
out
um
of here.
Dragon
So you've seen
Shield
this
que
part before. Let's
barra
go ahead
ataques
and
de
get a
fogo.
couple more donations in as I run across here.
Agora ele só voltando
All
pra
right, we have a
saída.
$20 donation from Raving Sock Monkey. Back in November, I lost my job, and Gyre streams and VODs helped me through those tough couple of months. Tuesday, I got a new one, so I wanted to donate during Virtual Hydlide to say thank you. Also, I vote sheep.
We'll get to the end. There's a bit of controversy at the end of the
O
game.
Gyre é o
Whether the stock photography,
recordista.
which is all it has for the credits, is actually
Ele
depicting cows and
otimizou
sheep.
bastante esse
I've got a
jogo.
lot of debate that goes on for that, but you'll get a chance to do your own voting once we get there. I'm almost out of here. I'm surprised that Jim's spleen has remained relatively undestroyed as I go across this. You can hear these whiffs going across there, and let's see if we can find where the exit is. Oh, that was actually really fast.
É, então
It's a black
aqueles
tile
inimigos
in a
ali,
black
aqueles
room
wisps.
with lots of blackness around it.
Tem a menor
Everything in this game is quite difficult to
necessidade de
activate,
lutar.
but especially anything
Ali,
that you do want to touch.
ele poderia ter tido uma dificuldadezinha para encontrar a saída, porque é um piso preto numa sala toda preta, toda
So
escura.
speaking of
É meio
Mike,
difícil de enxergar, mas
I hear that you have picked up a
boas.
Hydlide game of your own.
Yes, I have played and beaten Super Hydlide, which is why I'm on this couch.
E agora
Which is
vai
actually a
andando aí
Genesis
no
game, and it
Overworld
looks
pra
like a
ir
really hideous-looking
pra
8-bit NES game.
Mansão do Vampiro, que
Super
é
Hydlide
o
is the one where they
primeiro
go into
chefe.
space, and then they
do
come back
jogo.
and they have swords again.
Yeah, you can't deny the Hydlide.
You cannot.
All right, so I'm running over here to our next area, which is going to be the Vampire Mansion. I've rounded out most of the game for the seed to kind of minimize your overworld travel, and that's why I'm doing the quest slightly out of order. So I'm trying to avoid these kind of crisscrossing, meandering trails back and
Tá
around. But
comentando
it's,
que tá justamente
as a
fazendo as
randomized
quests
game,
fora
you're
de
going to have
ordem
some places
para
where you're going to
otimizar
have to
o
do
tempo de
a
viagem
triple
dele
cross
no
here. You're also going to have some
Overworld.
dungeons as well that you have to kind of pick and choose which you think are the most important. As we near here, the Vampire Mansion has got a quest to touch the vampire's balls. And the vampire has, for some reason, 5 balls. I've never quite figured out how he got that many.
Que
But we do
essa
have to
é
touch all
a
of them in here.
Mansão
So
do Vampiro.
it is a set seed. I know where his balls are. That's going to let
O
us save a lot of
objetivo aí
time throughout
dentro
this. But
é
here we go. Hopefully we get all of these first try.
tocar nas 5 bolas do vampiro
Also,
que
this is
estão
where the game
espalhadas pela
slightly starts
mansão.
slowing down a little bit, so don't be
Como é
alarmed.
uma
If it looks
seed que ele usou, uma seed específica, ele sabe onde elas estão.
Oh,
This is the good
dentro
part
das
of the matchup. All right,
salinhas.
ball number 1.
Aí tá aí a
Good distract
primeira
each of everybody
bolinha.
touched.
Oh man.
Up and around we go. So the
Os
iron
gráficos são
armor that I
meio
picked up back in the graveyard,
difíceis
that's
de
going to make me
entender, mas ele tem
bat-proof.
um
It's actually
sonzinho
iron armor, not
pra
aluminum foil,
saber
as
se
you may
ele
have
conseguiu
guessed.
ativar aquela bolinha ou
I
não.
personally thought it was tinfoil.
There's that zombie spawning in.
Essa é a segunda.
I like the
You
animation.
guys are really good at this. Keep it up. We got 3 more to go. And I'm sure the
JPEG
vampire's
de
enjoying
morcego
every single one of
total.
these touches as well. All right, number 3.
Dificuldade maior aí nessa dungeon é
Now we
conseguir
have the
passar
actual
pelas
slowdown. I was just
portas, né?
preparing you
Porque
for it. You haven't seen the slowdown yet for the
o
vampire
jogo
mansion.
não consegue
All right, up around this
detectar
current. Jim
direito
is
você
trying as hard
passando
as he
na
can.
porta.
Nope, Jim, into the corner.
Meu Deus.
This is why you use the map, just because you get lost.
É,
You just made up that
se
excuse
virar
by
também
turning
em
around.
direção ao desafio.
And then one more to go. That's the clock boss coming up there. The clock boss is one of the most dangerous foes in virtual Hydlide. You'll see if I'm able to dodge him on the way back. And number 5 here. Hopefully we have appeased the vampire, and hopefully we have appeased clock boss to get by here. No, the clock boss got me. All right, up and around we go. So this is going to be our Jim. This is gonna be our first real boss fight, really any fight of any kind. You actually don't want to fight any monsters because it
Não é
doesn't
muito
do anything in the
fácil
game.
controlar isso.
All you get is points, and you get like 10 or 20 points at a time. I
E
have no
chegamos
idea
aí ao
what he's saying.
vampiro, que é o primeiro chefe.
And the trick of the vampire, he's got 2 moves,
Ele
short
fala
teleport
alguma
and
coisa
long
que
teleport.
não,
So
realmente não dá pra
every time I
discernir o
teleport,
que
I
ele tá
move
dizendo.
slightly forward
E
to
olha só,
action,
essa
and then he'd have, like,
estratégia é
long
muito
teleport
difícil de
to escape
executar.
locked,
Sair pra
and
cima
that's the vampire.
e controlar o timing dos hits. O bichinho nem
Jim's
consegue
action
se
pose
mexer.
right now. This is Jim's signature pose in life. This is how you recover health in the game. 3 hit points per second standing here. So it
É
takes
uma coisa
5 minutes
interessante
to
que tem
regen your
também no
health
primeiro
at the end
jogo.
of the
Se
game.
você ficar parado,
That was the only
você
way
recupera
really you could
HP.
regenerate in NES
Fica parado em
Hydlide,
qualquer lugar.
which made that game an extremely, extremely painful speedrun if you were not immensely talented at it. Still thinking about the vampire boss. There we go. It just
Ok,
takes
agora
time
ele
to realize
finalmente
what's
pegou a
going on.
lanterna,
There's the shield to pick up the lens of truth
permite
and the
ele
magic lamp.
enxergar
Now
nos
we're gonna get the
lugares
super magic lamp. There is a rare version of that quest
escuros.
item. So like maybe about 5% of the time you'll get the super magic lamp. They both have the same light radius, but the super magic lamp weighs more. That's its only difference. And this game, there's actually a carrying capacity. That's one of the things that I'm doing by getting these quests is leveling up to increase my carrying capacity so I can actually wield weapons and armor. So if you get the rare item, you actually aren't able to use as much equipment. I've routed this out just in case I got the super magic lamp, I'd be okay. But it's really weird that they have a penalty for getting the super rare one. All right, so there is Vampire Mansion down. We're going to go over to the ruins next. And you might think that everything
Agora
in
ele
this
vai
game
para
is
as
a ruin, and you are
ruínas,
correct.
que é
But
uma
this place is
dungeon
more
que é
ruined
bem
than
perto
the
ali
rest
da
of it.
mansão.
All right, Jim's having some... All right, nope, there we go. Jim was just stuck on the pillar. He
Oh
gets
meu
a little bit
Deus, tá
attached to some of these walls
tentando
sometimes.
girar na
It's
direção
okay,
certa.
he's going to get over it pretty soon here. And as I run over here,
pouco
let's get
difícil às
one more
vezes.
quick donation in before I have to show off these ruins.
All right. We have a $25 donation from Linalia.
Ok, tem as ruínas e você precisa da
Virtual Hydlide is very
Spectacles
concerned
of
with saving the
Truth, né, as
frames.
Lens of
It
Truth
doesn't
do
want any
jogo
more
para
frames than it
enxergar essa
absolutely
abertura aí
needs.
na parede onde dá para
This
entrar.
game has shown
Que
me the
normalmente
error of
você
my
só
ways.
veria
It's only save the
paredes.
animals from here on out.
Wait until you see the best part of it. We've got that coming up in just one more dungeon after this. So, ruins here, we're going to
Basicamente,
see the most
ainda
map turns because
dá
it is more or less
para
a maze
passar
which has
pela
a bunch
parede
of
sem
these
as lentes.
floor traps. The floor traps
Se
are about
você
half of your
tentar o
health taken
suficiente,
off in one
o
frame.
jogo
So,
tenta
you have a
deixá-las
few seconds to
sólidas,
get by
mas
before
não
you're completely
consegue.
dead. You can hear it kind of whooshing behind me as I go
E
across
aí
here.
temos um labirinto,
I'm going to try
significa
not
que
to do
ele
as
vai
many turns because you can do a lot
pausar
of
muito para
slides
conseguir
in this
virar,
one. If you're trying to
de
go back
posição,
and forth between
que
different
não é
directions,
muito
you can,
fácil.
every once in a while, these little electric slides that he does, a little bit of an MC Hammer slide as well, depending on what era that you want to associate with. Those are going to be a little bit faster than having to go back and forth into those menus here. As long as I'm lined up, and there we go. Really important to be straight going through that hallway, otherwise you're going to get caught in those floor traps, and there's a roper coming at me.
Pegou aí
You wouldn't
uma
really know most of
espada,
these monsters unless, again, you've played NES
se ele conseguir
Hydlide.
pegar,
And
nice.
got a long sword there.
Que é
You did
a
donate
long
for 101%,
sword.
so I'm going to get the best armor in the game. There's the Fairy Mail. We'll hit the Fairy
Ai,
Shield
nesse
cup with that in a
baú,
second. All right,
eu
Jim,
vou
he's gonna
pegar a
have to
melhor
get through
armadura
this.
do jogo.
There we go. All right, we have our trusty magic sword here, which does fix poison, so I don't carry antidotes
não
around.
faça muita diferença.
And into this area here. So the only reason I can get through these, or at least see where the passageways are, is because I got the lens of truth on. You can actually go right through them if you just run at it really hard and then wiggle back and forth. Game's kind of got its own interpretation of walls. All right,
No final, ele pegou aí nesse baú amuleto de fogo que te permite não tomar dano na caverna vulcânica, que como se fosse a Goron Armor, né, do Ocarina of Time. Senão você tomaria dano numa área muito quente.
I have bad game sickness. Does that count?
No.
Agora ele tá tentando aí fazer as viradinhas no mapa.
Just lining up here so I don't get caught in a floor trap. There we go. Past that one. One more floor trap to go, and then we are safe. Well, we're not really safe. We're playing virtual Hydlide, but we're out of the dungeon at least. And there we go through the ruins. And
ok, conseguiu sair.
If you're feeling a little bit queasy, this is okay. It's perfectly natural, but I will warn you, you have about 2 minutes. So I'm going to do a quick shopping trip. The way they implemented shopping is because there's no NPCs. You just go into a menu, and it's at one specific spot in the game.
Antes de ir para a caverna vulcânica, né, vulcanite cave, que ele pegou o Fire Amulet para sobreviver lá, ele vai dar uma paradinha numa shop. E para quem está esperando ver uma lojinha com um NPC numa cidadezinha, não é bem assim. Esse jogo não tem nenhum NPC, nenhum at all. Não tem nenhuma cidade, é só o Jim, o nosso herói, sozinho nesse mundo vazio. Esse reino fantasma aí. E a shop é, na verdade, uma espécie de cristal no meio da floresta.
Thanks, Gyre, for suffering through this, so we don't have to.
Oh, you have to suffer through this as well. It's not optional. Keep it coming, Lindsay.
All right, we have $50 from Duke. How could I not donate during virtual Hydlide, my favorite Windows 95 screensaver?
Mó terreno baldio.
Love the awful block and love that this is for a great cause.
I'm pretty sure I did have a screensaver that looked like
Ok,
this.
chegou no shopping, esse cristal rosinha aí. E ele vai comprar Fairy Tears, que é um item de teleporte, alguns scrolls e umas poções. Pobre Jim está sozinho no mundo.
And there we go. All right, so shopping complete. I'll explain what those items do as we get to their various points of the game, but this
Na época tava muito na moda esses jogos de FMV, né?
Don't feel bad if you do have to tap out at any point during this. It is truly a very, very
essa daí é a Fairy Armor, essa armadura bonita que deixa o Jim no topo da moda.
Have we explained what 100% and 101% mean in this game yet?
100% is doing all the quests. Every time you hear a jingle, that's one of the quests. 101% is just doing everything that's amazing that this game has to offer. And this is definitely one of those things that is quite amazing.
É só esse nobre cavaleiro que você consegue levar muito a sério usando essa armadura. É, uma coisa aí sobre essa caverna vulcânica é que o frame rate é ainda pior. Então, pra quem já tava tendo motion sickness antes, cuidado agora, a gente não olhar muito pro jogo.
This is when Sega doesn't have the blast processing of the Genesis.
We're almost to where the first turn is.
Meu Deus do céu. Ele vai pegar aí uma Fire Sword, se ele conseguir ficar em frente ao baú, ok.
The tricky part about this is that you might have a turn you need to make, but it's in between frames, so everything is sub-frame perfect for your movement. got a lot of this timed out, so it's like, here's a hallway that's about, 100,000 feet where
Ele tá
you're gonna be
brincando
turning, and
que
then that's about one
como
frame that you need to be
o
reacting in.
jogo
Luckily, all the
tá
monsters
a
can't
1
see me because
FPS
they're not,
agora,
able
cada
to move more than
movimento
one
que ele
frame per
faz é
second
frame perfect.
I see you're running past all these monsters instead of fighting them. Isn't that going to hurt you for being able to afford to buy stuff with points?
Yeah, the funny thing is the
Muito
monsters give you about 10 or 20
preciso esse
points,
run.
and quests give about
Very
100,000,
precise.
which is the average item price. So you have almost no point whatsoever. You could grind for like 2 or 3 hours and then be able to afford like a pair of shoes or something. I wouldn't really recommend, though, any type of grinding in this game. We're almost to the second turn.
O jogo rodava assim no console?
can
Ele
do
está
it.
rodando no
You
console
may not be
nesse
able to do it,
momento.
but you can. Live on in Jim's
Não é
sake.
culpa do Saturn, não é culpa do console. O jogo é assim mesmo.
So, would you say it's easy to do frame perfect tricks in this game because you have about 10 seconds to do them?
I would say all inputs in this game are frame perfect.
Good point.
I have not missed a frame yet, but I'm still counting the frames out as we go. We're up to 7.
You think you'll beat the RPG
E o
load
mais
frame test
legal
with
dessa
23
frame
frames?
rate é
That is a tough
que
one. That was a really good
esses
run. So RPG
inimigos
Load Break, we
aí
did
meio
do
que
virtual
demoram
highlight back
tempo
in
pra
May, and
conseguir
some people have
perceber
recovered since then.
o jogador se aproximando.
Not all, but
E a
some.
frame rate está tão baixa
Dragon Dog was
que
safe. He was
eles
unable to
demoram
make it, but
pouco pra
Poetzel and Mikey actually
reagir
have
e
seen
te
this in
atacar.
person before, and I'm not sure how they're able to be on this couch now, given that that terrible, terrible fate that's beheld them.
Oh, please, I've watched you do practice before.
É, o console é um Sega
All right, there
Saturn.
you go. That's the photo necklace. I'll
Tá
need that
escrito ali
for
em
some
cima.
glitches later on.
Ok, e
Also,
no
really
final
helpful
ele pegou
for
a
speeding
Red
up some of the
Diamond,
game
que é uma
bosses.
das 3
Speaking of
gens.
speed-ups,
para
that long
terminar
sword
o
that I got
jogo.
back in the ruins actually saves you about 4 minutes on this
Se eu bem me
upcoming
lembro,
boss.
ele não vai
It is
pegar a
like
última
2
gen.
pixels longer than a regular sword.
E mais
But
tarde
it's
eu vou
enough to
explicar
save you
por
many,
quê.
many cycles this guy going back and forth. He is, well,
Esse
he's 3
chefe
bosses
aí
just
é a
taped together.
Hydra.
They all have their own life bar, and he starts
Ele
really,
tem que
really far away
esperar
from
ela se
you, and he
aproximar
moves
para atacar,
really,
porque
really
o
slowly.
range da espada
So,
não
the
é
more
muito
hits you can get in
suficiente
per
para
cycle,
tirar
without the
ela
long
de onde
sword,
ela
it's
tá.
impossible to one-cycle him. Long sword
Então,
sometimes
felizmente,
takes
ele
2
tem
cycles,
o
but it's
Dragon
usually much,
Shield, né,
much
que ele pegou
faster.
mais cedo,
Still
que
waiting for him to
bloqueia
move forward.
ataques de
I mean,
fogo.
say what
Então
you
ele
will
só
about
fica aí
this game, it
defendendo
doesn't
até
lie
ela
to you. The
chegar perto
longsword
dele.
is long.
It is like the
Só
one
cuidado
thing
que
in the
ele
game
tá
that
com
functions
pouco
properly.
HP
I was
aí.
shocked by it. I played this for 3 years before realizing the longsword was actually longer than the rest of the swords. It was a revelation in virtual Hydlide speedrunning technology when that happened. Here we go. We're in range of longsword. Still be like another minute or so to get him with a regular sword.
Conseguiu começar a acertar a Hydra. Cada cabeça tem uma barra de HP. Mas ele tá tentando acertar ali 2 ao mesmo tempo, né? Ó, conseguiu acertar as 3 ao mesmo tempo. Nice.
Here we go. Last head coming up.
Ok, primeira
Don't
morreu.
move back. Don't move back. He's moving back. You can do this, Jim.
Segunda também, só falta a
so close.
última. Eles meio que ficam nesse
Oh, there's a critical. There we go.
stun
We got
lock
him.
aí. Nice.
All right. Dragon is down.
Era uma luta meio perigosa pro pouco de HP que ele tinha, né? Mas ele sobreviveu. Felizmente, nesse caso, ele não precisa ir andando até a saída do vulcão.
This is what would happen if you didn't have the item equipped that you got back in the ruins. It's kind of a brutal death
Ele ganhou
that
ali uma
Jim would experience
flute,
otherwise.
uma
There he goes.
flauta, por ter derrotado esse chefe. Um item que parece um cetro. E aí ele desequipou o Fire Amulet pra morrer. Porque quando você morre, você warpa direto pra entrada da dungeon.
We're gonna go back to
Death
the
warp.
So, death warping there just takes you back to the dungeon that you're in if you're in a dungeon. On overworld, just respawn where you were leaving off. And the true cost, the thing that hurts you the most, is that it does take away all of your points. So sadly, we cannot get a high score when we are doing the death warps in here. And there we go. This, for some reason, lets you walk backwards out of the volcano. No other door in the game functions like that. Everything else requires that you face it. I don't know why this one is different.
Saindo da dungeon.
I'm okay
E
with that
agora
being the answer.
nada temam, porque fora dessa caverna a FPS vai voltar de 5 para 15. Não, 15 não, acho que 15 é muito. Acho que 10 o FPS normal desse jogo.
We now have the musical instrument to soothe the savage doorknob that we need to get into the sealed dungeon coming up. And
Ok, agora ele vai para a próxima dungeon, que é a Sealed Dungeon.
Frames per second, it looks so buttery smooth. Jim is just gliding along as if he's got no
Mano,
care
tá
in the world.
comentando
Also, I think
agora
the frame
que
is some component
saindo
of that as well.
daquela dungeon
Now let's line up here
até
with the bridge.
esses 8 FPS normal do jogo parece tão
No, stuck on the bridge.
suave.
Try again, Jim. No.
Oh, oh,
No.
oh, 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 oh,
No.
oh,
No. There we
Tá
go.
conseguindo. Meu Deus, passar a ponte. Aê,
Jim just has some
É,
troubles. He's
manobrar é
trying
muito
his
difícil
best.
nesse jogo.
And his best is not quite good enough, but we love him anyway.
We have a $10 donation from Squint in reference to Jim's wonderful running animation. Mom! Mom, they took my backpack! We have a
Ok,
$50 donation
precisei
from
agora da flauta,
Says, "It's
tocar a
nice to be
flauta,
able
né,
to look away
pra
from a game and then look back and not miss a
abrir a
single frame."
porta. Aquele item não parece nem um pouco uma flauta, mas
And we also have a
acredite, é.
$10 donation from
Parece um
RB, who
cetro.
says, "How much is the donation incentive to stop the run?"
All right, so I'm going to race the music in here. There's a glitch that causes the music to not load in for, I think, 4 frames. And so I can get most of the way down this hallway as we go through here.
Ele tá comentando que nesse dungeon, às vezes, a música demora uns 20 segundos pra
I
carregar.
kept another virtual Hydlide just in case it was my copy. I do have more than one copy of virtual Hydlide here at Awesome Games Think Quick. If anybody would like to try this game out.
Ele tá comentando que ele até
Who
já
here would like to try
checou
this game out?
em
We will get you
outras
set.
cópias do
What's wrong
jogo.
with you
Sim, ele tem
people?
mais de uma. E realmente não era
What's
só
wrong
do
with them
jogo
is not the
dele.
virtual Hydlide.
É um glitch mesmo.
What's
A
right
música
with you
demora
people?
pra carregar nesse dungeon.
They're fine connoisseurs of frames.
They want to savor each one.
Yes.
And this game lets them do just that.
Music in here is so intense. Now, this is going to be the section where we do have the minecarts, and I feel like
E
these
mais
are
uma
the
vez
best
entrando no
minecarts
mapa pra
in
conseguir
video game
virar.
history. You had the minecarts in Super Mario RPG. You had the minecarts in Donkey Kong
Agora ele tá
Country
chegando
and
na melhor
Tropical
parte.
Freeze, but none of them compared to the minecart awesomeness of Virtual Hydlide.
Minecarts in Final Fantasy VI wish they were these.
Twix will know. He is the minecart aficionado. Jim is trying to get to the minecart right
Que é
now.
um minecart.
You can do it, Jim.
Sessão obrigatória de todos os jogos em 1995. Ele tá tentando subir no minecart ali. Tá um pouco difícil.
I was hoping Jim might accidentally clip into the ceiling, which does happen every once in a while, but we have 2 more minecarts to try it on.
Yes. And
Olha só
these
esse
extra minecarts are
minecart a
happening
5
because of you
FPS.
donating to make it happen.
Yes, 101% does involve
Se
all the
você
minecart chips
achava
you can
o
imagine.
minecart do Final
They are
Fantasy
the best
VI
part of Virtual
ruim,
Hydlide. They don't
é
quite have
ruim,
wheels,
mas...
but other than that, they are the idealized minecart of your dreams.
Or functional load limits.
They use super advanced magnets to stay on the track.
There is a sign next to the minecart which says there's a 5-kilogram load limit, and that's like ridiculously light. You could barely carry a dagger through there, but it is not actually implemented in the game. You just have to use your imagination to make sure that you're not cheating. And I did make sure I took off all of my gear to make sure I was under that requirement. We do, of course, play legit here at Awesome Games Think Quick in all of our
Fazendo aí
adventures.
as viradinhas.
Jim's trying to get around the corner there. All right.
E como ele tá jogando 100%, ele vai pegar todos os
I do see
minecarts
another elevator coming up here. All right.
dessa
It is
dungeon,
time
mesmo não
for
sendo
a quick donation or
necessário.
two as we get closer to the mage here. Because once we're into that mage battle, it is going to be a tense and action-packed battle, and I can't have any interruptions.
All right, well, we have a $50 donation from, we have a $50 donation from, we have a
Tá indo
$50
agora
donation from.
pro próximo boss. E pediu aí uma doação de...
Donation Fractal, I like it. We have an anonymous $100 donation. The primate that makes everything worse checking in to say, trash for the trash block!
Tem uma doação aqui de $250 do Homem Lixo. Então, quando é que eu devo pegar esse lixo?
Let's make it happen!
E tentando aí entrar no minecart.
Jim learned from his past
Conseguiu
mistakes.
até
This is
bem
usually
rápido
the
dessa
easier of the
vez.
two minecarts. Very consistently, the second minecart goes much better. I think Jim is just
Jim
gotten the
está
practice down. Here's the best part.
aprendendo.
Oh yeah. The,
Eat your heart out, Donkey Kong Country.
I mean, this is also like at least 12 frames per second. This is
Radical.
the fastest part of Virtual Hydlide you can have outside of the menus.
Ele tá falando que essa é a parte mais rápida do jogo. Deve chegar pelo menos uns 12 FPS.
Generosity that comes in, especially for these adequately games done quick.
Nesse momento, a gente pode tentar notar. Também tem um timer lá no topo da tela. É um timer que não para durante os loads. Tá marcando 20 minutos agora. Sendo que o RTA, o timer da run, tá em 28. Essa é a diferença que a frame rate está causando.
Virtual Hydlide!
Also, the dungeon just fills with poison randomly. It just does that. Another virtual Hydlide thing.
We have a $60 donation from Cypher. I'm donating $60 during virtual Hydlide. 60 times more than your current frame rate.
Ali naquele baú Fairy Shield, né? Upgrade do escudo dele.
Making our way back here. You know that the game does have an in-game timer kept in that upper left-hand corner. It's quite accurate. That is what the time would be in the world of Virtual Hydlide, where none of this lag is taking place. Usually the good times I'm having for a typical run, probably about 22, 23 minutes in-game time.
Acho que agora a gente finalmente pode só andar até o chefe. Não lembro se tem um terceiro minecart.
10 minutes or so over the top, and I am glad that we get to show all of this off because Virtual Hydlide, it is a special treat that you really want to savor, especially.
Não, tem mais um minecart. Oh meu Deus. O que aconteceu aí? Ok, conseguiu. Entrou. Ele meio que clipou ali, mas tá tudo bem. Mais um pulo. Minecart Jump. Muita emoção.
Minecarts are now complete. We're going to make our way over to the mage here. We got another little bit of zigging and zagging through this dungeon. So
ok, esse foi o último minecart.
More donations in here, and then I'll explain how the mage fight works when we get there.
All right. We have a $15 donation from Lapras. Could people in the background please move around a bit so my eyes don't get used to this frame rate? Thanks. See, they're wiggling. Look, they're wiggling. We have a $50 donation from Czar. Awful Block has been my favorite in the past 3 years. These games are art. Early detection and prevention saved my dad from prostate cancer. Get checked early and often, every single one of you.
Ok. Se o Jim conseguir entrar nos corredores. Ok, beleza. Indo pro chefe, que é um mago.
Alright, here we go, final floor here. So the way the mage fight's gonna work is I will be using the flame sword we picked up as part of the 101%.
Ainda tem mais chão. Achei que já tava chegando.
Where instead of making Jim spin when you turn around, it makes the room spin instead. It's a glitch due to the fact that it's got a charge animation that they didn't actually program for Jim moving at the same time. And since the mage fight is nothing but spinning in circles,
ele tá mencionando algo que vai acontecer na fight com o mage, que ele vai usar a Fire Sword, espada de fogo. E essa espada tem um charge, né, que você pode ficar carregando o ataque que deixa a sua espada em chamas. E quando ele tá carregando, eu vou deixar vocês verem o que vai acontecer.
Exactly. Alright, so you're supposed to chase this guy all around the room, which is really big
também
pain.
fala alguma coisa, um texto incompreensível. E aí, quando ele tá carregando, ele vai girando a câmera e o Jim não tem nenhuma animação de turn-in. Só vai girando a sala ao redor. Esse chefe, ele fica flutuando pela sala e você só consegue atingir ele quando ele abaixa pro chão. Isso vai demorar um pouco porque ele é bem lento. Por isso que chamou donations.
I know Virtual Hydlide can't fit this many frames in a second. Good luck surviving the run.
Thank you very much, Baxter.
Tem uma doação aqui de 50 dólares do... Temos uma doação de 50 dólares e ele mandou uma mensagem dizendo que temos uma doação de 50 dólares.
Muito bom.
I'm partial to the finger trap theory.
I like card shuffling. Those cards really,
Porque
really
deve
shuffle right
faltar
now.
uns 2 hits. Ué, o que houve com o chefe? Ele ficou preso ali? Ah, ok. Só tava enrolando. Ué, ele errou.
He hasn't gotten out of bounds yet, so we're not in the worst case scenario so far.
O chefe tá ficando parado ali um pouco, não era pra isso
Yeah, he's
acontecer.
got a two-frame
Ok, acho que
windup,
só falta
so I'm
mais
just
um
letting
hit.
it hit him in the first of the frames when he's down on the ground. There we go. All right, Mage is down. We're going to go ahead and get our pot.
Muito bem.
This game's got a lot of pot in it for some reason. There we go. All right, so we get the Tears of the Earth.
No Mage vai aparecer a segunda fada.
Go ahead and use the fairy tears here. This is the alternate way to warp back. This cost me 100,000
Aí,
points, so I
segunda
can't
fada.
use it very often.
E ele ganhou também
But
um
there's no
item
easy way death
chamado
port because there's no monsters
Tears
around
of the
or
Earth,
no
né?
traffic
As
in the
lágrimas da
volcano.
terra,
That's the
um
quickest
item
way
de
to get back
quest.
to the entrance of the dungeon. Otherwise, you're going
Ele
all
usou
the way through
ali
all
a
those
Fairy
elevators, all
Tears,
those
né, o item de
minecarts again.
teleporte do jogo, para
And it's
poder
really
voltar
important
para a
when you're doing
saída,
this speed routing through here.
que ninguém merece ter que passar por todo aquele chão de novo para voltar.
This is a randomizer, and so the way it works is it pieces together like a dozen or so preset versions of each dungeon, maybe like 2 dozen overworlds.
Tears of the Earth, ela é necessária para fazer a próxima dungeon aparecer.
3 billion combinations.
Yes,
Which allows you to play the game over and over again, and I don't know why anyone would play it more than once.
Every bit
Agora
of
ele
content the
vai
game has to offer takes 3 billion
andar
playthroughs.
muito rapidamente até lá. Tão rapidamente quanto o
truly,
jogo
this game
permitir.
fits the term games as a service model.
We're just going to run up here to the Lost Castle, which is the last of the true dungeons that we go to. This is another one that probably should have remained lost. And it's got
Lost
2
Castle,
extremely
Castelo
awful
Perdido.
mechanics in it. If you thought the stuff they had thought up for Virtual Hydlide up to this
Tem
point was bad, this is where they went a little bit
caminho até
experimental
lá,
with how the game could go.
que vai ter tanto
it
de
was not a good
dificuldade para
experiment.
passar
It
por
was
todas as
a
pontes
very bad idea.
que ele
In
vai
fact,
ter
most
que
of us.
passar.
This is probably our last chance in here for a good donation or two while I get this castle up and running.
All right, we have a $15 donation from Mads. They say Virtual Hydlide is currently the #2 game on Twitch. Woo! This run is performance art.
Estão comemorando que agora Virtual Hydlide é o segundo jogo mais assistido da Twitch. Chegou. Ok, ele encaixa as Tears of Earth nessa pedra.
We have a $50 donation from Dahel. I wanted to give $1 per frame of Virtual Hydlide, but
A
negative amounts
dungeon
are
brota.
impossible.
Esse palácio de cristal aí.
And so we're going to go into the Lost Castle here. So this is going to be part 1. Again, I told you that there's going to be 2 really bad ideas. The first bad idea they had was to do a teleporter maze. And the way they made this extra bad is it's a 3D teleporter maze. And I will show you guys what this looks like. So there is 3 floors.
Ok, essa primeira parte da dungeon
é
esse labirinto extremamente confuso de teleporter. Olha que maravilha esse mapa da dungeon. Felizmente o objetivo é simples, só chegar lá no centro para poder passar para a próxima parte.
There's 2 floors down up to floor 3 here, and one of the things I pick out for the seed is a relatively decent puzzle through here, which
Essa
leads to
FPS dentro dessa dungeon.
the 3D
Os gráficos
moving
estão
block
muito
puzzle.
avançados para esse jogo.
This is also where the
Porque
game
isso foi bem
sometimes will
simples e
accidentally
chega na
generate the wrong
segunda
dungeon.
parte da dungeon,
And,
que é
I did buy the
puzzle
texticles so
de
you can figure out which
blocos
version
se
we have. I
movendo
got
no
3
espaço
relatively common
3D,
ones where I know were required items.
sendo
Let's see what we
usados
get.
como
Because this is gonna be
plataforma,
this like +0 on the
porque
right-hand side. This
é
is the second most
exatamente
common.
disso que esse jogo
There's a slightly better
precisava.
one that gives you the sort of like +2,
Platforming
but the difference in damage
a
is not
5
too bad.
FPS.
And the reason this is the ideal one is because the stairs down are on the same side as the Sword of Light.
Bom, ele só tem que ir passando de bloco em bloco para chegar na saída. Não saída, né? Mas para prosseguir. Ok, aí tem labirinto com vários baús, alguns itens, mas ele só precisa de um. Que é baú que tem a Sword of Light e que é uma espada absolutamente necessária para terminar o jogo. Sem ela, ele não consegue causar dano nos próximos chefes. O jogo não te diz isso, by the way. Você tem que saber que tem que pegar todas as espadas possíveis. Tá aí a Sword of Light. Causa 6% a mais de dano e atira um projétil de luz. Então é bom porque agora ele vai ter um range de ataque, né? Vai ter um ataque de projétil. Não precisa mais ficar se aproximando dos inimigos.
Thankfully, we are done with item collection though, so we're just going to make a quick dash to the other side here. That's not a good skeleton position.
Não só o chefe dessa dungeon, mas também até esses esqueletozinhos aí da dungeon, eles só tomam dano pra Sword of Light, né? Pra espada de luz.
There we go, up and around, almost to the end of this where we have our boss, the extremely delicious life form, aka the eel for short. I don't know why they just capitalized all the letters in there, but I'm assuming it's an acronym. All right, Mimic right in front of me. Okay, Jim Spleen's okay. We got through it.
Manobrar com uma certa dificuldade.
Baseline here.
Beleza?
Yeah, the first time I heard this, I had to check my speakers to make sure they were okay.
I think the volcano might have the best music, and there's nothing else to really do other than to listen to music while you're going through there. All right, here we go. So
ele chegou no chefe que é a Gyre.
Triple shots now. This will speed up the boss.
Com essa espada bem simples. Ai meu Deus. Percebe que ele tá tomando muito dano. Tem que torcer pra a Gyre morrer antes dele. Meu Deus do céu, tem uma poção? Não. Ok, não dá sorte. Aquele ataque da Gyre não dá pra bloquear. Não tem o que fazer. Os dois atiram e a gente vê quem morre primeiro. Infelizmente, ele só... Ok, deixa eu ver. Mais um pouquinho. Agora foi.
It's not actually a one frame trick, you have 3 frames, which is like 8.5 seconds during the fight. So it's the freest thing you can do to get through those boss fights. And now, with all of the fairies in hand, we're going to be
conseguimos a terceira fada. Com todas as 3 juntas, só falta derrotar o vilão Varalis para conseguir restaurar a princesa para sua forma original. Então as 3 espadas vão se juntar aí para teleportar o Jim até o castelo de Varalis, que essa dungeon aí tá desmoronando.
I love you, crowd.
Se você não tivesse as 3 fadas nessa altura, você não ia morrer nem nada, o jogo ia te teleportar pra fora dessa dungeon do mesmo jeito. Só que não ia ter nenhuma explicação. Agora ele está no castelo de Varalis, onde ele vai ter 2 refights. Primeiro contra o vampiro e depois contra o mage. E agora eu tenho um agravante nessa luta que ele sumando esses morcegos todos. Ok, ele fica teleportando também. E ele não pode deixar esses morcegos encostarem nele, porque eles causam status de paralisia, né? Paralyze, ele não precisa se mover. Mas ok, easy, easy peasy.
In that battle, you'll just get stun locked and murdered over and over again. It's like 5 or 10 seconds per life that they just chew away. And now back to our pal, the mage. This time though, I'm abusing a glitch with the fighter necklace plus Sword of Light, which allows me to triple shot.
E próxima refight do mago. Esses esqueletos também causam paralisia, então ele se livra deles logo. E agora tem mais uma luta longa contra o mage. Mais uma vez ele só pode acertá-lo quando ele decide pisar no chão. Então vai demorar um pouco se tiver alguma doação aí.
Tem uma aqui de $5 do Fun is Infinite. O que vocês estão falando? Esse jogo parece perfeitamente bem. Eu joguei Overwatch durante um ano, parecendo...
Com certeza. Por que ele tá tão parado? Geralmente ele fica girando e girando ao redor da sala. Ele hoje tá com um pouco de preguiça. Ok, nice. Último hit. Agora só falta o último chefe, que é o Varales. Eu falei algumas vezes ao longo da run sobre umas gemas, né, umas pedras preciosas. Tem 3 no jogo e elas servem para bloquear os poderes do Varales. Ele pegou 2, então ele não vai conseguir impedir o chefe de ficar teleportando, né? Mas com essas 2 que ele pegou ainda é bem de boa. Não me perguntem por que a categoria é 100% e ele não pega uma das gemas.
Here we go. That's a good pose right there. Yes, just stay there, Varales. All right, there's teleport. All right, fireball's the only bad
Isso, fica aí. Ah, ele teleportou. Beleza.
Everything else you just tank to the face.
Tem que desviar dessas fireballs. Ok, beleza. Ah!
Black orb, no problem. And
mais um teleporte. Quase acabando. E GG.
Now, of course, like most bosses, Varales is going to be a load-bearing boss here, but we do have
agora a gente vai ver a bela cutscene do final. Olha só esse FMG.
Now, Jim suddenly having lost quite a lot of weight since the last time we saw him, and also maybe his clothes, and I think a contact lens is going to fall out here as well. He's going to be joyously reunited
Jim aparece ali sem sua armadura e a princesa é restaurada.
And that is going to be our amazing finale here. You're going to get a chance when we get to the stock photography to tell me whether this is
eram os gráficos de 1995 de FMV.
Quick shout outs here. My biggest shout out is to Fiesel, who unfortunately is off at a milkshake convention and was unable to be on the couch here.
Castelo desaparece, eles desaparecem num campo. E aí a princesa olha diretamente para a câmera.
Because there is no direction whatsoever about how to play virtual Hydlide. There we go. Are these super cows?
Rocks? Can they be rocks?
Isso foi virtual highlight.
This is all
essa grande
the only people that are credited are the people that made the photography.
Obra-prima do Sega Saturn.
Did an awesome job. Jim the Princess.
Must have para quem tem Saturn.
And
it's better that way.
It is probably better for them at least. Any of you guys have some shout-outs here before we wrap up?
I just got one thing I want to ask the audience. Can we get one big Hydlide?
Hydlide!
Perfect.
All right, you've seen the rest. Now, you've seen the best of the awesome games. This was a game.
Foi grande jogo.